I've agreed to do something crazy, and that's run a half marathon. But that's a good reason for it.
Participation rates among popular races has seen an increase in the last 2 years. But more runners joining race events also means more injuries, and in some cases, fatalities. The last 2 deaths after a race were within 6 months of each other.
I am running harder than I've ever run in my life because I want to find out what it takes to prepare for a race for both runners and organizers. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Steve. So for a start, I need you to jog around the track.
Okay.
I would like to see your running gait to see if there's anything I can work on it.
Okay, and if I can make it at least 400 meters, there's some hope, right?
Yeah, there'll be medical assistant around.
Oh, already? Okay, I will.
Eugene is a running coach. He mostly trains athletes, but about 30% of his clientele are novice runners like me. He's going to help me train for my first ever half marathon, which is equivalent to running around this track 53 times.
Just meters away. There he goes.
You're doing good.
Yeah! Okay.
Okay, good job, Steve.
Oh.
There's no major issue that I have observed. Okay, but you can be more relaxed, relax your shoulder,
Okay.
run a bit taller. Because when you're not in a good posture or not in a good running gait, you're less efficient. Then you're using more energy to run the same speed.
I signed up for a half marathon. What's the typical training schedule for someone who is doing that?
Okay, typically for a new runner, I recommend 4 to 6 months of preparation. For seasoned runner, maybe 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
What you can do now is to try to start doing 3 to 4 runs a week.
Okay.
So first week you can try 3 runs of 4 to 5K each. Then second week maybe you can increase to 6 to 7K. Hopefully you can do 12, 13K
Yeah.
just before your race.
Yeah, and what kind of timing do you think I would complete the half marathon in?
2:30, 2:45, so about 7 minutes per kilometer kind of pace.
Training for a race in Singapore, how does that compare to other races in other parts of the world?
Huge.
Oh, yeah?
So training here or running here compared to a colder climate is a lot of different. Because of the high humidity here, we have problem drying out our sweat. So for the same effort that you are doing here, you'll be running slower than somewhere colder.
So if that's the case, does training in Singapore take more time and more effort?
Yep, definitely.
In Singapore, even though the official race takes place in the cooler months of December, temperatures can reach as high as 31 degrees Celsius. Official marathons in other parts of the world occur usually where temperatures are cooler, between 14 to 20 degrees Celsius. Humidity, or the amount of water vapor in the air, is also a factor, with Singapore tropics having a higher humidity than other climates. The higher the humidity, the more clammy and sweaty you feel. I've never run more than 5 kilometers, but I play ultimate frisbee every weekend in the hot sun. Each game, however, only lasts about 60 to 90 minutes. So is my body prepared for running a race that will take me close to 3 hours? I've been given this pill.
Think of it like a thermometer, but it's tracking me from the inside.
It's the most accurate way to tell if my body is overheating. I'm meeting heat stress expert Associate Professor Jason Lee, who is going to subject me to 2 of my least favorite things: running and a room with no aircon. This heated chamber is designed to simulate running in Singapore's weather. like how hot and humid it can get in the morning.
So let's do a quick check. Very good. The period is still in you. Yeah, so we could hook it up with another sensor, so that will tell us your heart rates, how hard your heart is working, and also some impression of your skin temperature. And then for round 1, 30 degrees and about 80% relative humidity. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Ooh.
Steve, come on, let's hop on the treadmill.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is you're going to run at intervals of 2 minutes.
Okay.
And the speed you're going to be run at will be 9 kilometers per hour. 3, 2, 1, let's increase the speed. Yeah, 9. Okay, that's 9 kilometers per hour.
Okay. I know it's not easy, but this is faster than what I've been running so far, I think. I'm a slow runner. Feel the drops of sweat.
.1, you are definitely warming up. Very good. 145 beats, that's your heart rate.
Sweating it out for you guys. Things I do for my job.
Last 40 seconds.
The first round simulates the likely temperature and humidity I'll be enduring in the early hours of my race. The sun may not be up, but the humidity is high. In round 1, Associate Professor Lee will track my inner and outer core temperature, as well as my heart rate.
30 more seconds.
This data will give him an idea on how my body responds to running in a heated environment.
Ooh, wow. Suddenly the air feels so much fresher here. Okay, so that was round 1. Not too bad. I think that's the kind of pace I expect to be running at for the half marathon.
It's time to crank up the heat and see if a harsher environment will have a physiological strain on my body.
This time around in round 2, the temperature will be 5 degrees higher.
Wow, okay.
This could probably represent, in worst case scenario, the later part of your race, so you can experience between the physiological response in round 1 versus round 2.
Okay, yeah, I can feel it's definitely warmer already.
Welcome back.
I am at 37.77. That's my temperature now. Okay.
Here we go again. Let's go.
Yeah, zoom in on my sweat, okay? Working hard for this.
.3, you are definitely heating up. 1 more minute and you are done for this circuit. Okay, you climb to 38.6.
Woo. Wow, it feels nice. Okay, so that was a much harder workout. The heat made the air felt a lot thicker, heavier, and I'm sweating a lot more than I did in the previous round. So definitely more tiring. Whew. Soaking wet.
Hey Steve,
Hey man.
how you feeling?
Okay.
Good job, yeah? Yeah.
What are the results saying?
When you ended that run, your internal core temperature was about 0.2 higher. You sweat more, you vasodilate. Vasodilate, basically you push the heat inside your body onto your skin and you try to dissipate it. And it
Okay.
can be shown here, your skin temperature was slightly higher, about 1 degree higher in the hotter trial.
Right.
And then your heart rate was also about 5-6 beats higher in the second trial.
Okay.
That means your body was working hard.
The experiment showed that in round 2, my body worked overtime. Heart rate up, more blood to the skin, sweating increased. But it has to do this to protect my core temperature of around 37 degrees Celsius. If my core climbs above 39.5 degrees Celsius, I'm in risky territory.
Okay, so but that made sense because the environment was hotter, right?
That's right.
And why are these results significant?
It allows you to know the race demands.
Okay.
And then you have a time before the race, right? You should get yourself conditioned, heat acclimatized. You can even run faster.
Oh, okay.
And heat acclimatization essentially means progressive exposure to the heat stress. And then some of the physiological responses we just measured will get better ability to sweat
see.
more, ability to push up your blood to the skin.
Okay.
And that process usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks.
So that means in the weeks before I need to expose my body to the warmer temperatures and see how it reacts so that I can get used to it.
Exactly.
So based on my results, are you concerned that I could be at risk of heat injury?
Based on the demands we impose on you, you are relatively in control. But bear in mind, a half marathon is much longer. 21K is quite a sweet spot, enough time and intensity for one to get heat injured.
Okay. Why is that so dangerous?
Well, the classic or strict definition of exertional heat stroke is when you have a high body temperature, we start to experience some dysfunction in your central nervous system. Means you find that you cannot think as well, you become a bit delirious, a bit confused.
Okay.
And you get a bit wobbly.
Right.
Those are very dangerous signs that you are incurring exertional heat stroke.
After 2 rounds of being a sweaty mess, I'm now in for a treat. A tub of water that's 12 degrees Celsius cold.
Slowly. Yeah. Oh. You feel it?
Oh, that feels cold. That is so cold.
That's fine. That's good. Okay, slowly you get used to it.
Okay. So you're gonna tell me, why am I doing this?
So we want to artificially cool you down right now, and hopefully you can run much better later. Yeah, but usually, Steve, we will recommend this not during a race, but during your training phase. The cooling is for you to push harder.
Okay, so this is not so much for my body to adjust to the temperature, but more to try and reset some of the features in it.
So you can train harder. All right, time's up. We shouldn't overcool you.
Oh,
Yeah, you should.
just when it's getting to the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Do you feel good?
I feel good. I feel good. Yeah, definitely. The whole body does feel lighter.
Excellent.
Less fatigue overall.
That's what we want. Fantastic. Yeah, your temperature is still dropping even while you're running. That's
Really? Yeah.
like a magic. Yeah, your temperature has stopped rising with 38.2.
Yeah. Normally I'd be perspiring by now.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Shredder, well done.
Whew. Okay. Wow. That was quite the experience. So the plunge pool really made a difference. The last 3 rounds were not as tiring. I feel quite good actually. But that being said, that's enough for today.
The cold plunge really made running the last stretch far easier. It's ideal for training. But while there are wellness centers and gyms that provide cold plunge facilities, they aren't widespread. And appointments cost between $30 and $100 per 30 and 60-minute session. I want to know if there are more practical ways to cool off.
So I'm done. Made it 7 kilometers in about 55 minutes. The first half was really hard, so heat is definitely a factor. I gotta find a way to stay cool.
Cooling items for sports have been gaining popularity on the market. From vests to cooling sleeves and headgear. But these items only cool you externally. So I want to test just one of these external cooling items against something that cools you from the inside. I'm getting some help from not one, not two, but three siblings. Meet triplets Lydia, Jocelyn and Agnes. They're going to test out an external cooling item and an internal one. Jocelyn is wearing a headband that has been pre-soaked, so it pulls the heat from her skin. Lydia will drink an ice slushy before and during the run. And Agnes will be our control by not wearing or drinking anything out of the ordinary. The night before, the triplets each swallowed the same pill I did, the pill that tracks their inner core temperature. Monitoring the triplets is exercise physiologist Dr. Fabian Lim. He will be tracking their inner core temperature to see if these items make a difference. After an hour of running, Dr. Lim computes the data from the sensor pills in their body to see if one of them had a cooler inner core temperature compared to the others.
So what do the results tell us?
So what it shows is that of the three runners, and with the different interventions, the one that had the most benefit was the icy drink. And you can see that from the chart, where the highest temperature was only about 38.66, whereas the other two hit about 39. In the magnitude of order for body temperature regulation, that difference is actually quite significant.
Which suggests that external cooling factors, which are just surface level, are not as effective as internal.
Yeah, they will make you feel more comfortable, they make you feel good, but that's just at the surface.
So your results show the one with the ice slushy basically had the best results.
Yeah.
But will I be able to do that during a race? I mean, they don't often provide that.
That's true, yeah. So ice slushy is usually taken pre-race before you start, so you can bring that along in something that can preserve the ice. And it gives you an advantage for the period that it is still icy,
I see.
right? And it gives you maybe a 10-15 minute benefit, yeah.
Okay. But it could be helpful if I was able to have it mid-race.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so never mind. Let me arrange with my producer, remember? I think we can have a ice slushy along the way, at the halfway. Maybe every 5 kilometers I have a Slurpee.
So, drinking cold fluids or an ice drink while running can be an effective way to help me endure the heat. And because it helps cool you from the inside, it can reduce the risk of overheating and possibly heat injuries. But just how severe can heat injuries get? So far, there have been 9 publicly documented fatalities at Singapore's standalone road running races. But we are rarely told about runners who are injured. When runners face injuries during or after a race, they are typically brought to this hospital. The Singapore General Hospital is one of the most centrally located hospitals.
With regards to races, common injuries that people might present with includes falls, sprains, strains. These are fairly run-of-the-mill cases for us to see in A&E, but the ones that we're really most concerned about are heat injury cases, because these are cases where, if not treated early and the hypothermia is not stopped, can actually progress to lasting damage.
How prevalent are heat-related injuries?
We've been seeing increasing numbers over the years. From 2022, we've had about 10 cases, 23, 30 cases, 24, 50 cases. This year is not over yet, and we've seen almost close to 30 cases. So we've seen everything from heat cramps, heat syncope where they faint, to heat exhaustion, heat stroke where they come in, they're very agitated, very confused, sometimes even aggressive.
And are these related to just races?
They're not all related to races, but a large proportion do come from exercise-related events. We do tend to see heat injuries come in for half marathons and above, and that's largely due to the distance that they're running. They do tend to come in after the first hour.
And why do you think we're seeing a rise in these heat-related injuries?
One of the reasons is that people are being more physically active, taking part in more exercise-related activities, pushing themselves harder, signing up for these kind of competitive runs.
Right.
The temperature in Singapore has gone up on average as well across the years. So the most important thing when dealing with heat injury is time to cooling.
Okay.
Immediate cooling on-site brings the best recovery rate for the patients. The speed of evacuation to the hospital doesn't matter as much as long as effective cooling is initiated on-site.
And you're saying in the past, race organizers didn't have these kind of facilities around?
Since this year, we ensure that on-site they are reminded to keep a lookout for early warning systems that participant might be entering into a heat injury phase, to initiate rapid cooling, communicate well with us so that now we know if someone is coming, how many people are coming, what has been done for them on-site.
So when did all this dialogue begin and why did it suddenly start?
Really, we saw a huge spike in cases of heat injuries coming within 6 months of each other. We saw 2 fatalities coming in within 6 months of each other. The spikes led us to really push for this dialogue.
I wrote into Sports Singapore to ask them if there were any new rules that race organisers had to adhere to in the wake of the latest fatalities. In their reply, the agency said that this year they made a change to their approval process for race organisers. Event organisers must now submit a detailed medical safety and risk assessment plan of their race for review. Only then will they provide a letter of support, which is what race organisations need for logistics. And I'm about to find out if this is enough.
What is your biggest gripe about race organisers with regards to safety at races?
In part 2, I go beyond my own race preparation to find out how prepared race organisers are.
So shouldn't more of the race fee go towards the safety and medical support?
And it's finally race day.